Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Khairunisa. For introduction, I want to talk about 4 point number 1, Zakat is the third pillar of Islam, plays a key role in redistribution of wealth and poverty alleviation. For point number 2, growing research explores its potential contribution to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Many SDG poverty eradication, education advancement and equality align with Zakat principle. And for last point, integrating zakat within SDG frameworks could revolutionize social welfare and Islamic finance on a global scale. For example, in Indonesia, zakat fund has been used to provide microfinance to small business, helping family escape poverty. And in Sudan, zakat fund are used to empower women through vocational training in program, helping them achieve financial independence. And Zakat and SDG, the connection. Study link Zakat to major SDG. SDG 1, ending poverty. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 10, reduce inequalities. New models proposed to enhance Zakat fairness and transparency in disbursement. However, studies mostly focus on specific regions, lacking a global perspective. Digital zakat system are gaining attention, but their effectiveness remains uncertain. For challenge and critical debates, absence of a unified zakat framework aligning with SDGs, variability in zakat practice across different countries, debate on how to measure long-term development impact beyond poverty relief. Fintech innovation might modernize zakat but raise religious and ethical concerns. And need for structured research to develop a comprehensive zakat SDG linkage framework, clear ambiguities, and establish precise implementation strategies, and assess zakat impact on sustainable development beyond poverty relief. Zakat for Sustainable Development Goals (SDG). For point number 1, research focus, exploring how zakat can be practically and efficiently utilized to achieve SDGs, establishing systematic process to maximize zakat cumulative impact. An objective of the study, consolidate existing literature on zakat and SDGs, identify key strengths, commonalities and debate in research, develop a framework for future studies. And significance of the review, academic contribution, enrich scholarly discussion on zakat as a sustainable tool, practically implication, guide zakat institution and policymaker in harnessing zakat potential for global development, and connecting Islamic social finance and SDG, aligning Islamic principle with modern financial challenge. For literature review, Zakat as Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). Zakat as a social financial tool. Zakat, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, aims to distribute wealth and alleviate poverty. Modern discourse connects zakat classical goals with SDGs. For SDG 1 is no poverty. For SDG 10, reduce inequalities. For SDG 3, well-being enhancement. Ethical foundation in Maqasid al-Syariah suggests that a well-managed zakat system can significantly contribute to global sustainable. And empirical evidence from Indonesia studies show zakat institution positively impacts SDG target, yet challenge persists: weak governance and transparency, poor alignment with national SDG strategies, reform effort focus on institutional structuring, strategic partnership, and digital zakat platforms. And productive zakat for sustainable growth, from relief to empowerment, microfinance, entrepreneurship support, education scholarship, success stories like Rumah Zakat Indonesia showcase how invested zakat enhance community development. For challenge in zakat governance, lack of standardized zakat management and accounting practice, transparency issues affecting stakeholder confidence, strong institutional legitimacy, strategic vision are key to zakat effectiveness in SDG contributions.
In this study, we apply a systematic review approach. This method is used to collect, screen, and analyze previous research related to our topic based on specific inclusion and exclusion criteria. The process begins with developing our research question and objective. Then we conducted a structured search for relevant studies and filtered them using defined keywords. We follow the PRISMA guidelines, which help ensure transparency and clarity in reporting. PRISMA also help us identify reliable database and define clear steps in data extraction and analysis. Finally, we use the framework by Cooper to guide our analysis and organize the finding in a structured report. Stage 2, screening. In the second stage, the first stage we assess whether the identified purpose match our research. We selected and refined relevant keywords 170 papers, 121 were encyclopedia and previous research. Using these keywords, we search through database including scopus, review based on specific information, and as a result, we successfully include 170 literature in English, and after removing duplicate, 29 more papers were discarded. The first stage of our systematic review is identification. At this stage, we selected and refined relevant keywords. Stage 3, eligibility. In the final stage, eligibility, we closely examined the remaining 65 articles to ensure they match our inclusion criteria and study objective. After reviewing titles, abstract and content, 35 papers were excluded for being out of scope or irrelevant. As a result, 30 articles were finalized and selected for detailed review. Stage 4, data abstraction and analysis. In the final stage, we extract data from the 30 selected articles, focus on questions related to social science and cash walk-off. We use thematic analysis to identify and build on common patterns across the studies. This helps us group key terms such as digital, media platform, blockchain, future trend, and technology in cash walk-off. The terms were developed collaboratively by 3 research and verified by 2 domain experts, one in technology and one in walk-off. Expert feedback ensure clarity, relevance, and validity of each term. All findings were documented, discussed, and refined to ensure accuracy and consistency in the.
So now we discuss about the result and finding for theme number 1, Zakat and the Sustainable Development Goals or SDG. Zakat is more than just a religious obligation. Research show it play a vital role in achieving global goals, especially in Muslim majority countries. For instance, studies have linked Zakat to SDG 1, non-poverty, and SDG 2, zero hunger. In Malaysia, Zakat has been used to improve food security, and in Bangladesh, it support migrant funding program that boosts income and asset for rural communities. But it's not just about giving. There are challenges, issues like a bureaucratic inefficiency, poor distribution system, and lack of transparency often limit its full potential. However, there are solutions. Some scholars suggest digital platform, community programs, and aligning Zakat with Islamic value and SDG targets, all of which can enhance the impact and reach of Zakat. So overall, Zakat has strong potential to support SDG, but it needs efficient institution, technology support, and collaboration to really make a difference. Okay, now let's move on to theme number 2. Governance and digital transformation in Zakat management. So what does the research say? First, when good governance meet ICT, we get smarter, more efficient Zakat system. So through data and transparency, that's how we build trust. And yes, the digital shift post-COVID is not just temporary, it's real. And it's here to stay. So let's look at some key examples. In Malaysia, big data model were introduced, helping Zakat institution improve reporting and decision making. Information security governance is also critical, and it reduces info gaps and ensure the system is transparent and accountable. And it saw Kalimantan Zakat went digital after COVID, using Maqasid Syariah as the foundation, making it easier for people to give and receive zakat and helping in post-pandemic recovery. So the last, even globally, research analyze zakat discussion online, like on YouTube and Zoom, and found they provide policy, insight, and strategic ideas from real conversation. So what's the big takeaway? Yes, Zakat is going digital, but it can lose its soul. It must remain grounded in Islamic value, in ethic, justice, and fairness. So the ideal future of Zakat, a balance between technology and ethic, where the system is transparent, efficient, and trustworthy, not just for today, but for the future. For theme number 3, Zakat distribution, effectiveness, and impact. When we talk about Zakat, we often think of it as just financial aid, but in reality, Zakat is holistic help. Based on Makasih Al-Shariah, the objective of Islamic law, Zakat support not just wealth, but also our spiritual, physical, intellectual, and family well-being. From Zakaria 2040. So let's look some example. In Indonesia, the Basnas scholarship helps students and reduce burden on parents. But the study show an SROI of 0.77, meaning it's need a long-term strategy like alumni network to maximize impact. Another success is Dompet Dufa Yogyakarta. They use productive zakat to lift recipients out of poverty, showing how the right program bring real wealth gains. And then we have zakat used to support education, healthcare, and social justice, proving zakat can be a full service support system when managed right. So what makes zakat truly impactful? Number 1, strategic program like scholarship, microfinance, and empowerment. Number 2, strong monitoring and follow-up. Third, long-term planning for and collaboration with stakeholders. And the last one is an alignment with Islamic value and SDG. So when done right, zakat isn't just aid, it becomes a social equity engine driving sustainable faith-based development. Okay, now we move to the theme number 4, social justice, civil society, and political dimension of zakat. So when we think of zakat, we often focus on its economic impact, but in truth, zakat is powerful social equalizer. Simulation study like TASAC and Badur 2033 proved that even random distribution of zakat can reduce inequality. It's literally a built-in wealth redistributor. Muslim NGO as West 2020 explained are now shaping zakat into a formal institutionalized system, shifting it from informal sadaqah to organized vertical philanthropy. But it's complicated. There are tensions between state and society. In Indonesia, for example, centralized control has marginalized traditional community practice, creating friction with Islamic civil society. Add to that fakta pluralism, different secular, different views, fragmented zakat practice across the country. And in Qatar, zakat role in peace building is even debated. Some use like poverty relief are praised, others not so much. This is from Materialistic 2033. So what's the real challenge? Is all about balance, like efficiency with the community autonomy, orthodoxy with the innovation, policy framework with the people practice. At the end of the day, zakat is more than just money. It's a spiritual, political, and social tool. But for it to work, it must be rooted in both faith and fairness.
Next, we look at Theme 5, Faith, Motivation and Compliance in Zakat Giving. Zakat deeply rooted in faith studies show that religiosity and spiritual motivation a major role in encouraging people to give zakat, even when they are unaware of its tax benefit. For example, in Madan, Indonesia, Muslims give zakat out of religious duty despite not understanding how it connects to taxation. Similarly, in Kedah, Malaysia, compliance with zakat payment was strongly influenced by both attitude and religiosity. However, this spiritual commitment is sometimes challenged by poor institutional transparency or inconsistency. There are also a fine line between genuine faith-driven charity and social status or institutional image. In short, why belief drives zakat is effectiveness depends on proper institutional support. Next, theme 6, digital campaigns and innovative zakat platforms. Digital tools have revolutionized how zakat is promoted and collected. In Indonesia, Baznas successfully used social media campaigns to increase donation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Platforms like Instagram and YouTube created a sense of urgency, trust, and transparency for donors. Moreover, crowdfunding models have emerged. This let individuals contribute to target zakat programs online, ensuring broader participation and accountability. This digital evolution is shifting zakat from a traditional passive donation to a dynamic, interactive form of philanthropy, especially among younger, tech-savvy Muslims. Last themes, charity, philanthropy and Islamic social finance. Zakat and other Islamic charitable practices are now seen as part of Islamic social finance, a broader framework combining spiritual duty with social and economic development. Institutions like Darut Tauhid in Indonesia use zakat to promote religious education and support middle-class families. Meanwhile, in Africa, Muslim NGOs are using zakat to build community service like schools and health centers. However, there's also a tension. While zakat is meant to be spiritual, it's increasingly managed like a financial instrument, sometimes even reflecting class structures or political interests. The takeaway, zakat isn't just religious obligation, but it's a tool for social impact, identity and sustainable change. In conclusion, zakat has huge potential to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially poverty alleviation, education and social justice. But to fully realize this, zakat must be better governed with transparency and alignment to national development plans. Digital enhanced using platforms like crowdfunding and blockchain while respecting Islamic ethics. Purposefully designed with long-term programs like scholarship, business aid and social empowerment. By addressing these barriers and leveraging innovation, zakat can move beyond just charity. Moreover, it can become a powerful development mechanism through to both Islamic value and global sustainability development goals.